Hey, what's going on, friends and theme park fans? This is Silver Stix here for another Stix Top 6, where I count down the best and worst that theme parks have to offer. Alrighty folks, so it's time to take another trip over to Anaheim, California for a day of fun over at Disneyland. And to really celebrate our day of fun, I wanted to keep things really relaxed and just count down what I consider to be the top 6 best rides at Disneyland. For this list, we'll be visiting rides in Disneyland itself, of course, Disney California Adventure, and finally, the still fairly new Pixar Pier, which, yes, is in Disney California Adventure, but I'm still counting it as its own area. Sorry. Also, this list is simply rides I feel like you can't miss if you're ever visiting the parks, and every choice on the list are just my opinions, and I mean absolutely no harm if your favorite rides don't appear on the list. There are tons of great rides and attractions throughout all of Disney. These are just, in my opinion, the absolute best of the best in California. Phew, so with all that out of the way, let's jump right into today's countdown. Kicking off our list in Tomorrowland, we'll take a trip through outer space on Space Mountain. Obviously, this ride has been a staple of every Disney park across the globe for some time now, but Disneyland California's version just takes the cake in my opinion. Originally opened on May 27, 1977 and refurbed on July 15, 2005, Space Mountain has added so many details to create this insanely immersive experience. From the blaring music and sound effects to the endless void of space around you, it truly feels like an expedition through the great beyond. And that's not even mentioning, unlike our Walt Disney World version, Disneyland Space Mountain actually has 2-seater cars instead of just one person front to back, which is nice for families or just people who get anxious on roller coasters, like myself, so you have someone to sit next to and be able to relax slightly easier. And finally, one last reason this ride deserves a spot on the list is because of the Halloween season, where this attraction gets completely overhauled to become Space Mountain Ghost Galaxy, a terrifying yet visually stunning experience through total darkness, as you come across spirits flying all around you. Overall, this ride just feels like it has so much love and care put into it in California that it'd be almost disrespectful to pass up an opportunity to ride this incredible attraction. Next up, we'll be heading over to Fantasyland to climb aboard a ship to sail through It's a Small World, which is, yes, another classic Disney attraction found worldwide. After its debut at the 1964 New York's World Fair, it became an instant hit. And from that point, it came over to Disneyland on May 28, 1966, and has remained one of the most popular attractions to this day. It's a Small World isn't the most intense or advanced ride out there, but what it lacks in speed and thrills, it makes up for in immersion and an overall feeling of joy. I simply can't listen to the Sherman Brothers song, It's a Small World, without getting a rush of emotions through me, and I always end up dancing along with it. It's infectious in the best way possible. There's honestly not too much to say about It's a Small World. I mean, even people that don't like Disney know exactly what it is, but I'll say the reason this ride takes a spot on the Disneyland list as opposed to the Walt Disney World list is the use of Disney movie character puppets in their proper places on the globe alongside the 300 other puppets in use. I love looking out for them like little Easter eggs. And finally, there may be some people who absolutely despise this attraction. They say it's annoying and creepy and slow, but personally, I find it to be completely entrancing, and I get lost in this magical world built up by Disney Imagineering. It's truly a one-of-a-kind attraction that will always hold a place in my heart and the hearts of Disney fans everywhere. Speeding on over to Pixar Pier, we'll be able to catch a ride on the brand new Incredicoaster, replacing California Screamin' on June 23, 2018. This is the fastest coaster throughout all of the Disneyland Resort at 55 miles per hour, and it's the only coaster with an inversion, making for an insanely thrilling ride-through. However, the Incredicoaster is much more than just your average steel launch coaster. This one actually has a story alongside it. The story has Jack escape from Edna Mode's care, and it's up to the Incredibles, alongside us, the guests, to get him back. Throughout this attraction, you'll see full-size models of each of the family members with voiceovers to bring them to life, including my personal favorite segment near the end, where Jack uses his powers to multiply himself dozens of times over, so you see a bunch of Jacks on poles all around you, and I just find it hilarious. California Screamin' was a fan favorite for all the right reasons, and I personally believe the updates added to create the Incredicoaster has made this a must-see attraction, and I recommend anyone give it a try. Even if you're typically not into bigger roller coasters, you simply can't miss out on this one. It's that good. Dropping into the Hollywood Land section of Disney California Adventure, we'll be able to take a walk through the Collector's Fortress and go on an epic adventure in Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, opened on May 27, 2017, replacing the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. Now, if you ask me which of these rides is my favorite, I couldn't really tell you. In Walt Disney World, we still have Tower of Terror, and I love it for what it is, but Mission Breakout definitely stands on its own insanely well. Personally, I hope we can keep both rides in their respective parks so I can still go on both, but anyway, with that being said, Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout is absolutely incredible. It's still the same ride formula as Tower of Terror. It's a drop tower with randomized stops, but what makes it even more interesting is there's 6 different versions of the ride you can end up seeing, starring different characters, different battles, and most importantly, different music. Throughout the 6 storylines, you could end up hearing Hit Me With Your Best Shot by Pat Benatar, Give Up the Funk by Parliament, Born to Be Wild by Steppenwolf, I Want You Back by the Jackson 5, Free Ride by the Edgar Winter Group, and finally, Burning Love by Elvis Presley. Each of these songs adds that extra touch of Guardians of the Galaxy pizzazz that only Disney would have been able to come up with. And the music choices are all those total feel-good songs, along with Guardians of the Galaxy itself, which is easily the most feel-good Marvel movie. So in the end, I only see huge smiles as people walk out of this attraction. It's truly spectacular. The story, the characters, the queue, the music, the ride itself, the pre-show, and everything else in between is flawless, and everyone needs to experience it for themselves as soon as possible. Racing over to Cars Land in Disney California Adventure, where we can take a drive alongside Lightning McQueen and Radiator Springs Racers, or as I like to call it, Test Track Done Well. Opened on June 15, 2012, this attraction zips you 40 miles an hour through the incredibly lifelike and immersive Radiator Springs. Throughout your race, you'll meet some of your favorite characters from the movies, and you'll see some fan-favorite scenes, like Mater going tractor tipping, and a trip through Luigi's Casa Dea tires or Ramon's custom tires, depending on the ride car you end up in. And these scenes alone would easily earn this attraction a spot on the list, because these are some of Disney's most innovative and impressive audio animatronics to date. The movements are insanely smooth, and they genuinely look animated. The dark ride elements in general work so well for this type of attraction, basically serving as a tour before you really launch into a race. You honestly feel as if you're part of the movies themselves, and with a long ride duration of 4 minutes and 22 seconds, you have quite a bit of time to really take everything in and enjoy it. If you're a fan of cars, Test Track, animatronic figures, or even just going fast, then this is a definite must-see attraction anytime you visit the park. Right, so usually when I make these Stix Top 6 videos, I tend to have a hard time picking an honorable mention. A lot of variables seem to go in. Have I mentioned this before? Is it something extinct? Is it similar to other things I've mentioned? If it's a ride, have I ridden it personally? And so on and so forth. However, today I had an extremely easy time picking because there's only one ride that kept popping in my head that really makes sense. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Haunted Mansion. Opened August 9th, 1969 in the New Orleans Square section of Disneyland, and I chose this because it took the #1 spot for my favorite top 6 Walt Disney World rides, and quite frankly, I could also put Disneyland's at #1 as well. I just knew I had to change it up a little bit, at least slightly. But I just simply couldn't ignore it, and I adore the Haunted Mansion no matter what part of the world I'm in, and California's has one of the best moments, and it occurs within the attic scene. Everyone should know what it is. It's literally in my Stix Top 6 intro. That, of course, is the Hatbox Ghost. I would have put this ride somewhere on the list for him alone. Definitely one of Disney's coolest designed characters of all time, no question about it. Besides my love for the Hatbox Ghost, there's all the usual elements of the Haunted Mansion that make it incredible, like the moving busts, the ghosts dancing around the dining room, or even the always incredible graveyard scene with the little heads on sticks that pop up and scare me every time. No matter what it is, there's genuinely no way to see everything the Haunted Mansion has in store in just one ride through, and I promise you'll be coming back for more after each visit. It's addictive in the best possible way. Alrighty, so to finish off our list today, we'll be swinging over to Adventureland to go on a wild excursion on Indiana Jones Adventure. Opened on March 4th, 1995, this attraction is simply spectacular. If you've ever been to Walt Disney World and ridden Dinosaur, then you'll sort of know how this ride feels, as it uses the same track layout and cart system. However, instead of going back in time to visit dinosaurs, we're going deep into the Temple of the Forbidden Eye alongside Indiana Jones to face all the horrors that lurk below in this 3-minute and 25-second life-changing experience. I should definitely point out that this is not a ride for the faint of heart. There's skeletons, a giant snake, and traps, just to name a few things, and overall, it's a pretty intense experience because of how realistic and immersive it is. All the different effects, the audio animatronic figures, and the sporadic movements of the enhanced motion vehicle truly make this feel like a live 5th Indiana Jones movie that you get to star in. And believe me, once you take a ride on the Indiana Jones adventure, you won't look at dark rides the same way again. It's definitely a game changer and a 100% must-do anytime you visit Disneyland. And I may be biased because I love all things Indiana Jones, even Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, so Indiana Jones Adventure easily takes the #1 spot as the best ride at Disneyland, at least in my opinion. Alrighty folks, so that's going to about wrap up my Stix Top 6 Best Disneyland Rides. I really hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share the video around. It'd mean a lot and help out a ton. But without further ado, this is Silver Stix signing out. Have a great rest of your day, theme park fans. Peace.